Hey, what's going on? It's 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Woo! We're at the Car Guy Cafe. I'm Furlan Arts, a subprime hero, and I'm here with
Lou Ramirez, the Car Guy.
Man, we're real excited. We're going to have a really good time.
Trumpets to hit. They're saying that LinkedIn's is not getting the stream.
Yeah, so hold on. As we're doing this, we're going to get the video going. We're going to get the stuff. But tonight we have a special guest. Very special guest. If you can see right over here in this corner. Yeah, Elite FI Partners. We have Michael Offmuth with us tonight, and we're excited to have him right after our video, our intro. Folks, we're going to have a great conversation with him, get to know him even more than we already know him. I'm excited to share his story with you guys. Get ready for some good stuff. Go.
What's going on?
I'm ready.
Car Guy.
I am ready.
Welcome to the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. Go ahead, tag a car guy,
Please do
tag
share.
a car gal, and share this.
Do that
Get
for us.
somebody.
We'll put that little share
involved
thing
in having
at the
some
bottom
fun tonight.
scrolling for y'all. This way we can make sure you guys remember to share. It's important to share because sharing is caring, my friends, because tonight is going to be a special show. We have a special show.
Special show.
So, yes, we have one of our great sponsors with us tonight, Elite FI Partners. By the way, this brew has been brought to you by Elite FI Partners. You can check them out at www.elitefipartners.com. You also have our other sponsor,
Which is
Think
Ad Group.
You know
You can
what's
get
up.
information by going to www.thinkadgroup.com and brew some solutions with these solutionaries.
Man.
We are so thankful to be able to be teamed up with some people that really want to find a way to help people find solutions in the world that they're in. So without further ado, we want to bring to you our special guest, Mr. Michael Offmuth from Elite FI Partners. Welcome. Welcome.
Man, we're so happy to have you here. You know, we've had you on the show before, but never as the spotlight for our whole however long we want this to go show, right? So tonight's going to be a special night. You know, the Elite FI Partners, man, they are doing some amazing stuff right now. They're trying to grow beyond what you can believe. They're taking steps that are necessary. Seeing you guys shoot your first commercial, and I'm excited to talk about that here in a little while too. But that being said, you know, right now we're having some technical difficulties on LinkedIn. So folks, if you're on LinkedIn, you know, I do apologize. Hopefully this will come on there. It keeps saying something about they're going to keep trying to get it to go. But anyway, that being said, we're excited to have you here, man.
Yeah. For those of you that are on Facebook and are on LinkedIn, go ahead and throw a message out there to your friends and let them know that, hey, you can access the Car Guy Coffee podcast. They're live right now on YouTube and on Facebook. So check it out. Let's have some fun. Seriously, there is a solutionary that's inside of the cafe, folks, and I want to make sure that you know about him and that you know a way that he can help you elevate what it is that you're trying to do to the level where you are considered elite. And it is a big old mouthful because there is a lot that's inside of the cup of this solutionary.
Man, you say it good.
And he's bringing it to us, and he's bringing it for free. There's going to be a lot of things that you can probably apply to your business right now as of this brand new month that you are graced to be able to take on as your next endeavor. And I'm just excited that he's going to actually deliver something that you can take that's going to be valuable for you to go home, put it to practice, show it into other people, and then he's going to come and show you how to keep doing it. I'm just excited because I know who it is that's here. It's Michael. What's up, brother? You know what I mean? It's like a brother's in the room. I'm like a happy dog. You know what I mean? But there's a great car guy that's here, and I'm just excited to have you with us tonight and to get this 5-liner out there, because some people just have been loving how deep it is that people actually get inside of these 5-liners, where they're expressing the true reason why they are doing what they do.
Absolutely.
And the core of who it is that they are and you're doing business with, which is something that I believe we need in business.
Whoa.
So, man.
So great news, folks. We are live on LinkedIn right now, so we're good to go. I got it. It's all fixed. So yes. So sorry about that. Yeah, man. Hey, but he's exactly right. We have an elite person here with us. He's elite, not just in business. He's an elite person. He's an elite friend. He's an elite parent. He's an elite husband. He does everything he can to the best that he possibly can, right? And what I love about Michael is that he also likes to share, and he also likes to encourage other people. And that's something that he's been doing. He calls out to us a lot and says, us doing our videos and stuff has really motivated him. But, it's likewise in a lot of ways. You always support us. You always do those things. So you encourage us. You keep me wanting to do these things, right? Not to the point where you reached out and wanted to be a sponsor for us, man. And that means so much. I mean, I got it right here on the chest, right there, right? So
it's hard to see on this one. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm excited because I'm looking forward to a long partnership with you. I think that there's going to be a lot of cool things that we're going to grow together with. And, the Think Ag Group, there's a lot of people we can name, and we're going to probably talk about them quite a bit tonight. But, the biggest thing is we want to talk about you and your company and how amazing that this company is and how fast you're growing and not just in growth in the business, but like in yourself and your self brand and the brand of Michael Offmuth, in what you're trying to do. And I'm excited and I want to keep encouraging you. So this 5-liner is going to be a lot of fun for me.
Yes.
I'm pumped up. So
pumped up.
Let's get this thing going. I know what the first question is, right? So the first question is the same one we always ask. It's, what is your purpose? What's your why? What motivates you every single day, Michael?
My why. Well, first off, thank you guys. I appreciate being on here. I'm excited to be here with you guys. Even like I jump in every now and then, but just doing anything with you guys excites me and it's motivating. The why. So for me, it always, and honestly, it stems back to my family. We all want to have our family be proud of us. We all want, to come home and then be looking at us like we're doing all the right things and have all the right answers. And that's not always the case, right? I'm not going to say I'm the guy that has all the right answers all the time, but I want to make them proud, so it starts with, family for me. The other part of my why, honestly, with Elite FI, the biggest thing for me is watching people grow. And what I mean by that is like when we get in, like we work with dealerships, but when we get into training and we get into, coaching with finance people and watching the transition and how they grow with their job, that's exciting. I love doing that. And it's like watching these people elevate, even watching the people on our team elevate. And then as they elevate other people, that is just exciting watching all that come together.
Oh, absolutely.
And you're so right. And I know that about you. And much the reason why you're going to have major success in everything you do. The only thing that you can give tips to a person like you is just, and it's not really a tip, something you're doing is just always just encourage. That's what's nice about having a team built around us. Having a good partner like you do with your wife in your business also. Like Lou and I have a good partnership here. We also have that with our wives. They're amazing. They help us support what we're trying to do.
Serious.
And that's why family to you, trying to be that, and then encouraging people to grow. Like it's like being a parent at the same time, but yet you're a peer. And when you sit down with somebody like I can sit here with Lou, and I don't know if I'm rambling, but
No,
I know that
no.
I know what I'm, you know what I'm trying to say is it's there's something amazing about that. And when I get to see Lou grow, and I want him to grow, Lou's still under 40. I want to find a way to get Lou a 40 under 40. Somehow, some way, Lou deserves a 40 under 40. He's an amazing person. So I want to make that happen. We've talked about that, but we kind of slowed down. Corona really pumped the brakes on that, but we're building it up anyway.
I don't know if it takes the new car, franchise in order to have Ally as the bank. I think it's an Ally thing. I'm not positive on that.
Well, there's different ones. Now it's not just Ally. Now there's different ones across the nation for different things. So trust and believe we're going to find a way to make it happen. But anyway,
how much time do we have for you?
Say again?
How much time do we have?
We have about 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
April 3rd, everybody.
And that's when it's all the hot season, when all the conventions are going to start going on, hopefully. And but even if it's not, it's going to all be virtual. So one way or the other, there's going to be a lot of awards given out, and this man deserves a lot. So anyway, let's get back to the business, and much like you, and we're going to help you get. Let's get this talking about this. So, man, amazing family, having all that type of stuff, having that support, obviously making them proud, helping them grow, which in turn, in your heart, you're just a person who loves to help people.
Yes.
And that's something that is amazing about you. And you've been, since I've known you, since we've started just communicating, social media, on the phone, whatever, which way we talk, Zoom meetings, whatever, right? It's every one of those things has always been encouraging stuff. And that's what I really like about you. So my question for you is, where did you get that type of, I'm sorry, I don't mean to skip you. I'm going to go to two questions first. Where did you get that? We used to do it this way, actually. It was different. Remember that? I used to drop anyway. But so the second question I'm going to ask you is, where did you get that type of mindset of being that type of growing with your family, but also growing and helping other people grow, if that makes sense? You know what I mean? Like, where did you get that? Who helped you get there, or whatever the way you could answer that?
It probably stems back. I started 97 in the car business, 97, 98. And, the first time, like when I first got in the car business, helping, I was in sales, and, the first time you help a customer, and you get to see their face, how they interact, and the excitement, and it's twofold. Like, so, you have butterflies sometimes, like as you're new in the business and you're going out and you're talking to a customer, and, you have a little bit of uneasiness or a nervousness sometimes, but then when you get, communicating with a customer and you're excited with them, and then you see that person transition into just pure excitement, that's where it spawns from. You know what I mean? Like and the car business, in my opinion, is addictive, right? It's very, we all get hooked on it somehow. It's almost like a drug, right? But for me, the drug was helping people, like watching it transform something in their life, something positive that came out of it. And, that, spawned into different things. Right. And along the way, that's kind of where it all kind of came from. But just watching people, their reactions, watching them get excited, watching that energy and what it can turn into. And that would probably be where it started.
Hey, man. And that's amazing.
I believe that's part of the high that car guys get.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
That takes you from,
no doubt,
from being, almost ready to completely throw in the towel to being absolutely in love with the business that you're in and the decisions that you've made in life. You know what I mean? That roller coaster of up and down that some people can experience inside of this business is such an exhilarating flow. But there's also that natural high that you get in just scoring, whether the touchdown, the basket, the goal that you have inside of business. That's the great fun of having the car transaction occur. You know what I mean? And we're all so kind of ingrained inside of that culture. That is our flow. That is the thing that we need to make sure that we always stoke and we keep on fire.
Yes.
That we get passionate about helping the people that we're helping and going forward with the solutions that we're finding a way to provide for customers that are diligently seeking out the best answer for themselves. You know what I mean? At the end of every day, we want to make sure that we did the absolute best for our community that we could have with resource that we have for it, right? We can't do everything. We can just do our part, and we want to do it excellently. So that's a great segue into understanding the car guy-ism inside of you, and understanding what is it that made you transition yourself so laser focused, speaking of being laser focused, how in the world did we get to this part
without I know
the interview?
I was actually pointing over the whole
forgiving,
you know what,
focusing and
flying. Oh man, because we got excited. And
what a great
example on this show.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Actually, you got us stumbling, man. You know, because
you know what I mean.
So
we're already in that lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
We've been flying together.
Oh, he's already been blessed with the forgiveness.
Yeah, he's already in there. But for those of you that need to make sure that you flex your muscles one time and do what it is that solutionaries do, apply these 3 F's to forgive, focus, and fly. Do this one time with us, Michael Offmith, Elite FI, and all you solutionaries out there. 1, 2, 3, forgive, focus, fly, and keep growing, keep growing, keep growing, keep growing.
All right.
That's right. All right.
Now it's going.
Woo. All right. So, woo.
All right. Bing bong.
Right. So now, what was it that made you have to forgive everything that it was that may have stopped you from getting to where it was that you were at that moment? Make sure that you don't take any of the baggage with you in pursuing this new road of successfully helping other people. And what was it that you were ultimately focused on that made you make that transition inside of what could have been, stable, easy, and simple? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could have put it in park. Nice and steady, no harm, no foul, great life. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But you're deciding to be a true solutionary that has seen one mountain top and is now looking at the next mountaintop from that vantage point, right? So you're flying to the next one. What is it that has made you, or what is it that you've been focused on in making that transition?
So the entire time I've been in the car business, the area that I've always focused on, that I've always done the best in my opinion, the area that I love is finance. And so where I, seem to thrive and I always really enjoyed it was putting a deal together and, finding and Fred, you might even understand this a little bit, getting a customer that might even be challenged or have something that makes it hard and finding a way to make that structure make sense, right? So for me, I spent a large part of my time when I was on the retail side of the car dealership in finance and, working with banks and working with customers and putting it all together. And so I really enjoyed that part of the business. And so for me, as I transitioned over the years in the car business, it was from structuring deals to understanding finance to understanding products. And then when I went to the side where I became the vendor, or I became the working for a vendor and basically that side of the equation, that's what I loved. I wanted to stay in finance. So I wanted to be able to come back into the dealership and do what I loved the most. And that was be in the finance office, roll my sleeves up and not just, tell somebody how to do it, but show them, and get behind the desk and install processes and show them the way that we can do something that's beneficial for the customer, beneficial for the dealership, and, in the end, bring value to everybody. And so that was, for me, what it was. I loved putting deals together. I loved the complexity of it. I loved and honestly, I loved the hard ones. I loved the people that were the biggest challenge, that had the hardest situation to get done, because that was honestly sometimes the most rewarding, watching somebody's expression or their just watching them light up when, they couldn't get a car. They came in, they didn't think they could get a car. And then you found a way to make that work. And so that was the stuff I used. I
love that. And that's exactly, we're very similar in blood. You know what I mean? That's exactly the type of motivation that I have, the type of feeling that I get whenever a situation like that happens for me or for a client. It's nothing better. My funny ones, some funny situations when you get somebody that comes in, they don't, oh, I can't buy anything. And then they're 780, perfect credit score, just never bought a car, but everything else, right? And they got $3,000 down and a free and clear trade. You're like, oh yeah, woo, that was a tough one, right? So it's those are the funny ones, you you kind of feel like, wow, okay, great. But but no, man, you know, what you do is really awesome. You know, what you've built that from, coming from a finance background. You know, I did some research, you know, a little bit deeper research before the interview, and I know that, you know, you went to local community college there in Pima. I remember
Correct.
PCC. I know exactly where it's at.
Right.
And you went there for a little bit, and then you decided to get into the car business very quickly, much like I did. I did a very short term in school and said, you know what, car biz, right?
Well, it's funny. I didn't think I was going to get in the car business. I grew up thinking I was going to be in computer science. I wanted nothing to do with the car business because I was like the car kid. You know, I grew up at 13 years old. I was bidding on cars with my father. And, you know, I grew up in the business, and I, you know, as a kid was like, yeah, I don't want this. I've seen too much of this. I don't want to do this. And then it's like you get hooked on it, right? Something happens. There's a trigger. And for me, it was like I was in college. I'm sitting there and I'm going to school for computer science, and this instructor comes up and he's talking about how you'll reach this threshold where you can make 60 to 80 grand a year. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't want somebody to put a cap on what I could do. I don't want somebody to tell me like this is the boundaries or the box I need to live in. And that was the trigger for me. Yes. And so at that time I was starting in sales, and I my first day on the lot, like as in sales, I'm like uneasy. You know, I don't know if I want to do this. I'm not sure about this. I sold 2 cars in my first day. And, you know, it's rewarding, right? When you're a salesman, you can make a lot of money really quick. And so I got hooked, you know, and next thing you know, you start progressing along. And with me, it was a family dealership. So with my father, he was die hard, right? Like it was not like nothing was handed to me. I had to earn it twice over. Like he was one of those guys that like you had to dig in and you had to prove your weight like twofold versus anybody else in the group. But I did. And, you know, it's like I said, it's like a drug. It gets you and you pull in and you embrace the business, and it becomes you.
And that's exactly right. You know,
so many that are successful at this maintain that newness to it the entire time that they're doing it. Once that fire goes out, boom, that's it. Transition, get out of there. You know what I mean? If you can't get re-stoked and re-fired up about doing this, you're not going to make it. And you're not going to do the best thing that you can do for you. You know what I mean? You need to find that thing, no matter what it is in life, that keeps you burning, that keeps you motivated, that keeps you wanting to save the world every day. You know what I mean? And whatever that is, we want to make sure that we help people find that. You know, so, there's so many great people that have just not made it as car guys that I have been so privileged to meet and to be around, and the chance to share a floor with, the chance to mentor for a moment, the chance to teach them word tracks, the chance to show them how to solve problems for people from a completely different world than what they are from. You know what I mean? And these are life-changing conversations and moments and building of character that many people we get the chance to meet, and they go on to other things. Some of them just are not car guys. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They've gone on to other great things. And it's key that you meet people that are like that Michael, that are trying to make sure that those connections happen, that no matter what, you're enriched as a person when the transaction is complete. You know what I mean? You're finding a way to be a culture changer by finding a solution to a problem rather than just selling a product, right? You know what I mean? Bringing value no matter what. There is no cost if there's no value. You know what I mean? But I can get crazy pumped up and excited about saying all that. You inspire me, just like all these other people that are here. Let's shout out to some of these
let's do some
people that have been commenting. Starting off with John Pellegrino.
My guys.
So excited to have other people that are feeling the car business, the solutionary syrup that's being poured out there. What's going on? My man, Kendrick, what's cooking? Buddy? What's happening out there?
November 1st yourself. Let's go.
It is the first.
Time to rock it out.
It's still the first. We are still the first.
We got Jerry Christian Connor says, "What's up, guys? What's up? Appreciate you for being here tonight.
Welcome.
And of course, we got Michelle Maltese
from the Think Tank.
Yes.
Yeah. What's up?
What's up, girl?
Another solutionary.
Chase
with the big guns.
Yes. What's going on, Chase? Man, appreciate you for jumping on.
Speaking of Michaels,
Michael Landis. And he is steady, always been a great fan, always been a great friend, always been a great person. So I appreciate you, Michael, for always jumping on. Every Michael that we know, and I've met a lot of new Michaels recently, and they're great people. Michael Larkin, Michael Offmuth, Michael Landis.
Anyone.
I mean, you can keep going. Michael Dooley. I mean, come on. These people are all amazing solutionaries.
We need to have an entire series just the Michaels.
I need to change my name to Michael. Maybe.
There's something about the name Michael. That's an entire series.
Come on,
you know what I mean? I love Michael Jackson. He's always in the cafe with us. You know what I mean? It's
Michael Bublé.
There's something about the name Michael. We might actually do one. The Michael Brew. We might release a Michael Brew.
And then you got Michelle. Michelle says yes. Lou does nominate. Oh, that's because I was talking about the 40 under 40.
Thank you, Michelle.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, you're under 42, aren't you? Or you're not. You're my age. You think you're like? Never mind. We'll talk about that. Yeah, I'm a sprinkle over 40 myself.
Thank you, Jerry.
The sprinkles all over the chin. You can see the whites.
Yeah, so. I'm doing the same, and on the side is no. Yeah.
Hey, but that just shows that we know what's up. So Jerry says I'm in for nominating Lou. Awesome. And you got. Michael is a hard worker and a deal maker, no doubt. That's
right.
And he's been doing that, and he's he's consistent. I mean, we're going to keep talking about these things about Michael, but he's consistent. He's all the above. So he's definitely the type of person. He understands what you put in is what you get back, no doubt. So, hey guys, Christina, Cooper, what's up, everyone? What's going on? Michael Landis says, love you guys. Michelle is the Michael version. You're right. And there's a lot of cool Michelles that we know too. It's so crazy.
That is crazy. Whoa.
Michelle says, I'm almost 55. Oh, you're just starting life.
Just getting started. Just getting started.
Anyway, let's get back to it. So, man, I've kind of learned a lot already about you. So for one, I read a little bit, but, hearing that, that you come from a car background in a sense is pretty nice to hear. That's neat. And that shows that you decided that you didn't want to do it. And then you're like, man, I hear you when you said that whole term, you're limited yourself to what kind of income you can make. That's exactly the reason why the schooling I was getting was limiting me to that too. And the deeper I got into it, and then I saw the very first ad of how much you can make as a car guy, I was like, come on. And then I met somebody, and I knew he was making that kind of money and a little more. Okay, so anyway, he got me excited because I knew that there was an opportunity for a person like me to get in there. And I know that I'm a pretty smart person, and I know how to work, and I love talking to people, and I love shaking hands and making the grands and all that type of stuff, right? So much like you got into the car business, you can't, to have that background, was it there in Arizona?
It was, yeah.
Man, that's so cool.
I grew up and basically was in Tucson for most of my life up until about 7-8 years ago when I started traveling. And that's when I flipped over to be an agent or a general agent. And my first area I went to was Georgia. Right. And so I spent about 1.5 years, 2 years. And when I came in as a general agent, they basically said, okay, we have Mazda that's out in Georgia. We need you to be the general agent. You're going to do sales development and training in 13 different Mazda dealerships. And so at that time, that was kind of like, that was my chance. That was like the ledge where I can jump out and say, okay, I'm going to become an agent. And in doing it, it was kind of a complicated conversation at home because I'm telling my wife, hey, here's an opportunity that I can do something different I want to do, I love, but it's across the country, so do we want to do this? Do we not want to do this? So we kind of went back and forth on it, but God love my wife. She basically said, yeah, I got your back. We packed a car up and we drove to Georgia.
Awesome. That is so awesome.
Because she understood, because every path that you took, you always took a path that brought you better things, right?
Right.
And that's what's so amazing. But you built that courage inside her, like she built the courage inside you, and that's what's amazing about having a good partner.
There is nothing,
being a good partner, an elite FI partner. There's something amazing about that, right? So, and you guys carry that onto your business lives. You guys understand that there's risks that are needed to be taken, right? There's times that you need to do things that are different that maybe no one else has ever done. Sometimes you got to be that person who goes above and beyond, and I believe that's what you're doing right now. And I'm seeing it. It's unbelievable. I love it. And I'm like, having you here tonight is, it's something that, we've had the honor to talk to you. We've talked business, we've talked some things, we've talked ideas. We've been on the think tank multiple times together. We've had times to sit down and talk about us partnering up and doing this whole, being a sponsor and doing those types of things, which in turn is, I feel like we're partners, you know what I mean?
Right.
But that being said, yeah, right. It's all right. So, hearing all this and being able to learn a little bit more about where you came from and that in the path that you took in the car business and what direction you went, and who gave you the courage to take that step and say, you know what, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make this stuff happen. And during that time, there was, and I love to ask this to people because it's something important to me, because there's always somebody that influenced me really big. That was a car person, somebody that helped me say, I'm better than just being a guy on the floor. I'm more than that, or maybe I'm even better than more than just a F&I manager. I could be more, even if tags don't mean anything. You could be a leader. We talked about that recently. You talk about that recently. Being a leader is just a mindset, and it's something that, you become, but somebody helps you become that, understand that mindset. You know what I mean? Who would that person be for you?
Who would be? I'm sorry.
Who's that person that probably influenced you, got you into a mindset of like, hey, I'm going to keep doing this and I'm going to make this business mine, or helped you?
Oh, that's easy. My wife has always been right there behind me, encouraging me. And it's, a lot of guys will tell you that, like behind every great man is the woman standing there telling him or nudging him and giving him the encouragement. And I've made along the way my share of mistakes, right? You trust the wrong people, you do the wrong thing, you follow your heart. Sometimes it doesn't lead you down the right road, but she's always been there to, kind of nudge and push me along. And, becoming an agent, that was a risk, right? That was the step that was like going out on the ledge and, putting it all forward. And it's like all or nothing. You're going to give this your all and you're going to make it or you're going to fail, and she was there. She had my back and she pushed me over and, and luckily everything's worked out to take us to where we're at right now.
Yeah.
But, with that comes a lot of scary days, right? There's a lot of sleepless nights where you're like, ooh, did I make the right choice? And then, when we left the previous agency that we were a part of and like formed our own last year, that was another one. That was another time that was kind of like a, when you're awake at night going, oof, am I making the right decision? Is this the right thing? And, you have all the right intentions, all the right motives, all the right encouragement, everything points go, but it's still scary because you're still on that ledge, right? And having, that person that's standing behind you and encouraging you makes a huge difference, and that has your back, and that's how to answer that question easily.
Man, I had a feeling you were going to say that, because I could tell, based off of everything, and I understand that, because that is a partnership. I do believe that to have a good partnership with your spouse is huge, because that helps you understand how to have a business partnership. When you kind of have like, if you have issues, it tends to be that there's issues that would be in business too, so you got to be balanced in life. You got to be good here. It's not a facade, you got to also be real, right?
That's right.
So that being said, Lou.
Well, I mean, to touch on all of the things that you're poking at there, inside of what it takes to be the true solutionary that goes out, achieves his dreams, and helps other people do the same, is that it is a simple key that people do understand. And there's nothing a good man can't do if he has a good woman that believes in him. That is one of the most powerful forces, is a woman believing inside of a man, and he can really move a mountain, especially if he's got to. And I believe those that step up are the true solutionaries that we want to be brewing with, and we want to continue to caffeinate inside of their pursuit to share their heart with not just their clients, but with their family. We want to make sure that we are seeing the paradigm shift inside of the car business, where the family takes its priority the way that it should, where the unit of the husband and the wife gets the attention that it needs in order for everybody to have the most productive life possible. Because ultimately, it's not just the commodities we sell, it's the life that we get to live.
Yes.
And the solutions that we bring to the world. And so if this is what it is that we spend so much time in, it's key that our time and our focus and our energies and our hearts are consistently postured towards our family in a way that makes sure that they know they are just as valued as the people that we're trying to pour out value to inside of the rest of the business world, right? It is so key that we keep growing inside of our pursuit for our relationship with our God, and also in relationship with the people that are closest to us that he's blessed us to have. And it's awesome. And I applaud that relationship. And again, it's so evident inside of your life. You know what I mean? If there's a glow, which I believe there is, my brother, you got the glow. You know what I mean? You're glowing like you're in love, like you're identified, you know, as long as, because whether we believe in you or not, it's not going to change what she thinks. You know what I mean? If it doesn't matter what other people may not have done business with you. That never changed what she thought of you when you went back home. And that is where you were firmly rooted. You know what I mean? That's where it was that you were completely understand. I'm loved, whether they love me or not. You know, they just don't know me like you do, babe. You know what I'm saying? They don't know me like you, girl. You know, and that fire stays stoked inside of that relationship. It makes you be successful everywhere that you go. You know what I mean? Because you bring that everywhere you go. Who doesn't want to be around somebody that's on fire and excited? It gives people hope. And we appreciate what you do.
Is a tug of war, right? Because like it requires a lot of time, right? And it takes it from a lot of people. So, you know, being on the retail side for many years of my life, you know, I've been the guy that was the first one in, the last one to leave. You know, I would show up when it's still dark outside and leave when it's still dark outside. So I understand and respect, you know, that a lot of guys put that time in. You have to learn how to balance it. You're exactly right. You need to learn how to prioritize the things that are really important in your life, because if you don't do that, if that falls apart, nothing else matters. It all falls apart, right? So the nucleus or the core to all of us is going to be a happy life at home, right? If we have that, everything else can flourish around us. If we can't balance that, then it's going to fall apart 100%.
No doubt. And that's
that's the foundation, baby. That's
it really is, you know, and it's you can burn yourself out doing too much of something. And then, you know, when we talk about our whys, a lot of people who have family life that's great, that, you know, that they love, their biggest why is, you know, making sure their children know they love them, and they want to make sure that children see what good work does and how working hard, you know, that type of stuff, right? And if you don't have a great relationship with them, what does all that really matter then, right? So what are you really showing them? So you got to make sure you do that. You know, I know you just went on vacation to Disney.
Yeah, he went to Disney.
He much like I
awesome
am a DVC members. You know, we love to go down there as much as we possibly can. You know, so it's pretty awesome that you're like that. So maybe one day we could schedule like we all go together. It'd be kind of
cool. That'd be fun. It'd be a lot of fun.
But you know, I love it. You know, it's something that I miss it. I can't wait. This is like crazy for me not to go this past year.
You know what's funny is like I go to these trips like with Disney, and you know, and you'll know this, right? So like you show up to a hotel and like the first thing they say to you is welcome home, right? Yes. They kind of treat you like, I don't know how to say it, but like royalty, or like you're special. And the thing I really enjoy about it is not even so much the fact that they make you feel special. It's the fact that they follow the same process, no matter what property it is, no matter where it's at. And you can see the steps they're all going through, the training they've all gone through, the uniformness of it all. And like, I almost want to go do a trip there and record the process and be like, watch this. I did a video one time. This is like shortly after I started doing videos. Again, thank you for encouraging me to do it. But like, I went through a drive-through at Chick-fil-A, and I'm recording with the camera on my side because they had 2 lanes side by side. And as I'm going through, I'm like, oh my God, there's like 30, 40 cars here. And I went through the drive-through in like 4 minutes.
It's unreal how fast it is. You're right.
And then there was a time I went through like a McDonald's like a couple days later for my kids, and there's like 3 cars, and it took like 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, so the comparison of like a process that works to one that doesn't, it's something that's worth looking at. It's something that's fun to illustrate and show people that, because that's, you know, we all like, that's what I live in, right? I love installing a process in a finance office. So if I can find examples outside of the car business and show somebody how to do it, awesome. I love it. And especially just as simple as a drive-through.
You're so right. And you're right on the money what you're talking about there, folks. If you're hearing what he's saying, processes and good processes are so vital. And sometimes having to adjust it, you know, he just compared McDonald's to Chick-fil-A, and that's exactly the same comparison I would make, because the process at McDonald's used to be the best. Everybody knew that you got your food fast. It was good. Everybody liked it. We understand that now you go through a line. I swear they'll tell you to pull up front for like there's nobody behind you. I'm like, what's going on? You know, what?
Big piece of the parking.
I'm like, nobody. Why do you want me to pull forward? There's nobody behind me. You know, stuff like that. You know, the food would take 15 minutes when there's only 3 people in line. I just, you know, I know when I pull up to a Chick-fil-A, I don't care if the line's all the way out in the street. I know it's going to still go quick. And it's like, you know what? It's worth it, even if it's like 7 minutes instead of 5 minutes. You know what I mean? I'll do it, instead of the McDonald's 15 minutes in the food subpar, you know what I mean? But
Right.
but I still like it. I love some 2 cheeseburger meal with fries and a Coke. Let's go.
Every now and then, right?
Right.
Oh,
So,
wow.
but no, Lou, I know you haven't even.
I do like McDonald's coffee. I gotta tell you the truth.
Yeah,
It makes
McDonald's
me think
coffee
of
is
my
not
coffee.
it's not too bad, bro. It's not.
But so before we jump to this next and last question on the 5-liner, I want to drop this quick awesomeness on the screen before we
Why not?
get away.
Right?
All right, that's it.
It's
I wanted
the
to make
future,
sure
folks.
that you understood.
Elite FI Partners,
We are
once again,
positioning.
proud sponsors of the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. www.elitefipartners.com. Make sure you get you some of that. Man, they're ready to help you out. I know they're willing to do whatever it takes. Just give them a call. If it's not a good match and they know there's something that they can't do for you, they won't even offer. They'll just let you know, hey, it's just not something I can do. But there's my gut tells me if you're reaching out, they can help you and probably, no doubt in my mind, make sure that your dealership gets to the next level. Make sure you get from regular to elite.
Car Guy Coffee approved.
Because it is. They're Car Guy Coffee approved. And there's no doubt we love that about them. They're always going to be Car Guy Coffee approved because they keep growing. That's our whole thing. Keep growing, and that's what they do. They keep growing. They keep growing. And I absolutely love to see that kind of stuff happen, especially with people that I know and people that I consider friends. So I'm so glad that that you're doing what you're doing, and I'm glad that you're here tonight. So
it's inspiring because so many other people are wanting to take leaps into where it is that some people haven't really paved the road completely yet. You know what I mean? There's no how to do manuals on some of the stuff that you're achieving, and you're having enough faith inside of your processes, inside of your belief, inside of your product, which ultimately is you. You know what I mean? And it's exciting to have you doing that. Man, it makes me want to do this. All right. So
You get a taste of the new commercial ahead of time. That's awesome.
Car gals. One question that we want to make sure that we do get the chance to get a solutionary in here and answering for us is what it is that is his greatest reward for all of these efforts and all of these achievements that he's had and milestones and things that he's seen accomplish right now. I'm sure his faith levels are at the greatest heights that they've ever been at. And so with that are going to come some of the biggest challenges that he's ever had, which are going to make these achievements that he's had up to now be things that are just added to the wonderful accolades that will be attributed to his elite lifestyle in the future. But car guys, car gals, we are asking Mr. Elite FI Partners himself, Michael Offmuth, what is your greatest reward?
Easy. And this is why I align so well with you guys, and that is watching people grow. And so, like I have, and you saw in the chat earlier, Jerry Connor, he works with me up in Michigan. I'm ecstatic. And can't even tell you how excited I get when I see his progress. I see him growing. I see him inside a dealership working with people and the training and the process, and then watching the end result, which is, again, the finance manager and his progression and, how that works. That is my greatest reward. And it's, making money and all the things that we all go after at the end of the day, that's a result. I love that. Don't get me wrong. We're all in it to make money. I'm not trying to say money is not important, but I'm saying to me, the biggest reward is watching the growth of the people around me. Watching, somebody like a Jerry Connor, watching the finance managers that I work with, he works with, and watching, their progression. And then when you get the phone call from a finance guy saying, hey, I did that thing you were talking to me about, or I watched you doing a delivery. That works really well. That excitement, when they come back and realize the stuff you're talking about isn't just me coming in and saying, just try this and see if it works. It's something that we've tried and proven, like we have the experience because we've done this, enough times, and we can tell you this is a proven process. And by all means, I'm not trying to say I have the end all answer. If you got something that's better, I will listen. You know what I mean? But we are going to be there with things that we know work and we know will generate results and will, in the end, leave somebody, feeling accomplished, one as the finance person, but two, feeling satisfied as a customer, and that's ultimately what, I would say is the answer for that.
Man, and great. Yes. You're leaving a legacy amongst other car people, and you're looking for people and trying to help them, and you encourage them. When you see somebody, it makes your heart just warm up. I know exactly what you mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something better, nothing better than that. Just the fact that you even give us props for helping you get on video.
I mean,
just that really encourages me so much. The thing about you though is like, much like what we just witnessed, you are great in front of a camera now. You've worked so well. You've become good at speaking your craft to the point where, because you were always a good salesperson, we know that, but being in front of a camera sometimes could be a little bit different because we're not in front of cameras. Right. We're in front of people, so it's a little bit different. You have really
something. I'm going to interrupt you real quick. So we're doing the commercial. What was it, yesterday? And so I've been doing these videos for a little bit, right? We all hold the phone up or, something and record ourselves and put it online. And I've gotten to the point where I'm very comfortable doing that. It's not like difficult for me to hold the camera. It's like you progress. I don't know how to say it, but you get to the point where you're more comfortable with it. The moment somebody else was holding the camera, I forgot how to talk. I couldn't talk. It took me like 5 times to get something out that was very simple for this. But it's just funny how that changes. Like how trigger goes off in your head sometimes, that if somebody else is recording you, or changes the atmosphere that you're comfortable in. But, it takes me back to when we were talking about it. You have to make yourself uncomfortable. You have to put yourself in these positions, to grow, right? You have to get in situations that don't, that get you out of your comfort zone. And that's where the true growth comes from.
Man, I love that. You're so right. True growth, folks. This 5-liner, we talked about, his purpose, his why. We went into, so many other points that I think that you guys see the story, where he came from, how he did it, what motivates him, what's that person that helped him get there, his wife. A lot of this, if you guys reflect back to all the answers of everything that he's talked about, he's just talking about being a good person.
Love it.
You know what I mean? Like the deep core of everything is just being a good person and being somebody who, you could be a good person and not do nothing, but are you really a good person, not do nothing? No, because you're doing yourself an injustice. You're doing other people injustices, right? So in order to be a good person, you have to be a person that has a good moral background. You have to be, that's just the start of it. You can have a good moral background. Doesn't mean you're a good person. You understand good morals, right? But you have to also lead by example, which he does. He does it in elite fashion. He does it with people that he's training. He does it with his wife, and his wife has so much trust in him that they've done things that are outside of their comfort zone, being uncomfortable. They're trying to leave. And I'm sure she is too, because if you guys are partners, you guys are trying to leave a legacy of growth amongst other people across the nation. And what you're doing is something that people are starting to understand more why that's important.
Yeah.
You're sharing that in a very specific way. The difference between the videos that you talk about somebody watching you and it's more scripted, right? Now I know, and if you're anything like me, is that you have an idea of what you want your videos that you put on your normal videos, but it comes out, right? You just do it. And that is the difference between it's hard for me to do scripted stuff too. And trust me, Lou used to record commercials for our dealership, and they would get me and I would just be wrong like 5 times in a row. And it'd be the easiest words, right? But for me to just talk about what I really am genuinely passionate. It's not that your commercial's not that way, but I know it's written out because it's a commercial. It's a time. You have so many seconds, whatever. You can't go over this amount at all, or whatever, right? So for you, it's much like me. It's difficult, but that's okay. Like you said, you're getting uncomfortable and you got better at it. I know by the time we did another commercial, I felt a little bit more comfortable and I went right through it. And because you just realize, just be you, do your thing, right? And
you got to get your reps, man. You got to get
your reps in, right? And the thing about what he does in this whole gathering is that he grew up. He understood what this business could do. He sees that other things that you can go to school, spend tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to get an education to make pennies on the dollar compared to what the opportunity is here in the car business. But in the meanwhile, all you're doing, even when you were a salesperson, you were helping people. You saw the smiles on their faces. This is stuff that he said. He did these things and he loved it. And he got passion. He would come in when it was dark and leave when it was dark. He would do all the things that was necessary to show that I'm here and this is my career, right? This isn't just something I'm doing to make a little money so I can go to the bar tonight.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to make a little money to go to the bar tonight. Yes. But at the same time, but I'm doing this because I'm going to the bar with a bunch of car guys. We're going to talk about our deals. We're going to go out there and we're going to pass out business cards, right? That's the difference between somebody who's, that's a career guy. He's out here letting people know who they are. I'm sure you went right down that path just like that. You got an opportunity to do finance, and then you crushed finance, and you understood the opportunities there. And you're like, you know what? I'm just here in this little neck of the woods. Why not spread out and do more, right?
Right.
And he did all that. And that's that keep growing mentality. And he's doing it with class. He's doing it with a smile. He's doing it with his family. He's sharing the love with his family. He's having fun. He's sharing it with everybody else in a think tank. He's doing it with people that, like you and I, sharing the love with us. I mean, seriously, man, being our sponsor is awesome. And I do appreciate you reaching out. And it means a lot. This 5-liner was really cool because, I mean, honestly, I knew you, but now I know you. You know what I mean? So I'm real excited that we got to do this.
Did we just become best friends again?
We're 3 best friends. This wolf pack of 1 just became a wolf pack of 3. So, yes. So we actually have a couple people who jumped in at the end right here. Not at the end. We're still going. We got some stuff to talk about.
We got some more cooking.
Yes,
we got some more cooking in the kitchen.
Let's see. Larkin.
Michael Larkin.
Boom.
Man, I need a mask. Oh, my mask.
Boom. There goes the dynamite. Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Cut. Let's try it again, right? So yes.
Welcome back.
That's exactly right. So he understands the same thing because he's reaching out doing videos. Michael Larkin's a really special person.
Yeah, Michael's
I need to get with you, Michael.
Huge heart on that guy, man, and you can't help but love him. You just want to be like, I love you, dude. You're so freaking just nice. How do you not like him? His laugh, he just makes you. I swear he's supposed to be a stand-up comedian. I could just tell. He probably has those zingers. Zingah!
I love Michael's video too with the mask. Every time he's like got that open the mask up. Cracks me up.
I love it.
We got a little slow-mo put somewhere, didn't we?
Yeah. It's a nice little fun time and a little signature move that he has. Not too many of us have signature moves on social media land. We salute you, Michael. You get that mile high salute. Good job making a special move. You know what I mean? We do got a couple moves actually, but not everybody gets to have some. And Michael, we honor you for having one yourself. But speaking of making moves, we are so thankful that the solutionary that we have right here in the cafe with us is making moves and not excuses. He is helping people go from being script readers to leaders. He is upshifting and uplifting. He is finding a way to brew solutions everywhere that he goes because he is 100% Car Guy Coffee approved, but he is solutionary certified to go do the great work that ultimately he was designed to do for the earth. And if it's inside of a finance office, helping people that are buying some of the most important commodities that they put their life and their trust into, then so be it. And I am thankful to be at arms with him against everybody that's not trying to find a way to help people. We are going to shine a light in dark places, and I'm so thankful that I have great people like you to do that with. Thank you for sharing your 5-liner with us. I can't wait till we can just put an arm around you, you know what I mean? And
pretty soon, I think, what's right? Up.
Yeah. That's coming around the corner.
It is.
We're going to be doing that here real soon.
Just around the river bend. But we are going to be right back, car guys and car gals, with some fresh news about what is going on with Elite FI partners. I am so excited to get to that because there's a couple quick questions that I want to sneak in there that help all of you solutionaries find a way to help yourself do what it is that you need to do inside of the box. So we are going to be right back.
We'll be right back right after this video. But before I go, I also want to I just want to say that I want to make sure that we get a jump box from you tonight. I want to, and here's something else we haven't done in a long time, a car guy confession session.
Oh, snap.
And I really want a confession session from you. And I want you to start thinking about it now. So that's why I wanted to bring it up. You got to think of a story of something that happened to you in the past that was maybe something you learned from that's kind of funny, or maybe something you witnessed. You don't have to necessarily be something that happened to you.
Okay.
But something good. I'm sure you could think of something. You've been doing it long enough, 97, 98. You know what I mean? Holy guacamole. Where did you graduate high school?
96.
96. I graduated 97. So you and I are like right.
Yeah.
I was in Tucson in 99 to 98 to 2001. So we may have been at the same bar at one point. Seriously.
Right.
All right. So here we go. And we'll be right back. Focus. Live. Keep growing. Hey, just a reminder, this brew has been brought to you by the Think Ag Group. Go check them out at www.thinkaggroup.com. And once again, also, Elite FI Partners. You all know what's up. www.elitefipartners.com. Make sure you guys go check them out. We also have Michael Offmuth this way. Michael Offmuth. Right there, right? Or up here, right above me this way, whichever way you guys were looking at it, right? So I'm excited to have you here. What a fun five-liner. It was great to get to know you a little bit more. And obviously, through the years, we're going to get to know each other even more than that.
Yeah.
We'll probably even arm wrestle one day. Who knows, right? So random. But hey.
This message has been brought to you by Random.
Yes. So, we got this fresh news that we love to get to. And the fresh news is about you, what you're trying to do right now, what's going on, what's hot about your company, who you're, maybe if you want to bring up some people like you mentioned earlier, I don't know. It's all about you, brother. You could talk about you. You could talk about your company. We'll ask questions as you're doing it to try to keep it going, because obviously there's going to be stuff that's going to intrigue us a little bit. So let's talk about that. What's going on with Elite FI Partners right now? What's going on with Michael Offmuth?
All right. So when it comes to Elite FI Partners, we get together once a month, right? We talk about what it is we walk into a dealership and we're talking about. And it's one of three things, right? So it's people, product, or process. And that is the three categories that we focus and hone in on, right? So how can we help you with people, the product, or, the processes that you have in your store? And so, what's hot for us right now is product more than anything. Like we all just went through COVID and we're still going through it, and it's affecting everybody differently, right? I have some stores that will only meet me virtually. I have some stores that you make an appointment. It's very strange is the best way to say it, how everything's going. And some stores that just don't embrace it at all. I mean, you walk into it, it's like, nothing's changed. It's nothing different, but it's different everywhere you go. But for us, like, we go through whatever step it is. And right now what's hot is how do we improve, a product or a process in that store that's going to help generate, additional revenues or give them something they didn't have before. And so for us, we have a couple products that are just killing it right now. Like, especially in independent, used car dealerships, like having a couple different opportunities now that we're typically only available for franchise stores, we're doing very well in that space right now. Like we have where we can finance products outside of a deal. So if a finance person gets a call back from a lender and it's capped, and it only allow them to go so far, an out the door call, we now have the ability to give them financing, not just for a service contract, but for other products for that customer outside of it. Not even just limited to just at the time of sale, but at any point in time, somebody could walk in and just purchase a warranty and finance it, separate from the transaction.
Right.
And just we have an assortment of different things, again, depending on the store, but that create different revenue streams that aren't currently there. And so that right now has been kind of the low hanging fruit, as you would say, like the area that we've focused a lot on that's working really well for us.
That's awesome. That's key that people that are actually looking for people to find solutions inside of their F&I department, find people that are like you, that know what it's like on both sides of the spectrum, that aren't just with a few products and a couple of processes that look really good in presentation form, but you know what it's like to implement them, and you know what it's like to actually bring that car guy-ism to the flow that's needed for things to be actually successful, but also interpreted. I mean, we're very much a tribal type of people. You know what I mean? As far as we have a language about us, and it's key that when you're making that transition into being a vendor, but being somebody that can actually show somebody how to implement something, two totally different types of people. And it's awesome that you're the type of solutionary that has it from both sides of the spectrum. That's why it's key that we don't just find vendors, especially on this show. We don't want people that just have a product. We want people that are certified car guys that get it on both sides of the flow, that understand what the salesperson heartbeat is like. That's the one making the phone call, setting the appointment, going on the test drive. You know what I mean? Going through all of the drama, and you know what it's like inside of the full circle of life, so it be in the flow of a car deal, and at the heart of it, the cash register. You have those solutions from a vantage point of experience, and that's just key. I just wanted to really honor that. Like that's awesome.
Everybody in a dealership right now, their time is valuable, right? And it's like if I'm talking to a dealer principal, a general manager, a finance manager, you know, especially if I'm just walking in the dealership off the street, you know, I got a very small window of time. So if I'm not bringing value to that conversation, I'm done, right? And that's the key. That's why I say it's different depending on the store. It can be a new car store, it can be a, you know, independent dealership, it can be a power sports store. It doesn't matter. As long as I have something that is valuable to that person, I will get their attention. Otherwise, I'm no different than the 100 guys that walk into their dealership all the time. So how do you distinguish yourself to be that different person? And we put a lot of time into that. You know, COVID was, you know, a lot of things for a lot of people, and for us, not only was it scary because when it hit, you know, we're kind of like in Michigan, especially shut down, you know, where dealerships basically closed for, you know, 2-3 weeks where they were not allowed to sell a car. You know, in other states, I'm sure it's longer or shorter depending on where you're at. But for us, it was an opportunity to kind of like revamp, to revisit with vendors, to revisit our website and the stuff that we're putting out there, revisit the solutions that are available for a dealership, whether it be electronic signatures, remote deliveries, you know, you name it. Like, and so we went and found all the answers that we liked so that we have always the best solution that we can bring forward. And so when I go in and I sit in front of a dealer and, you know, a general manager, whoever it might be, wherever that conversation goes, I'm well versed because we spend a lot of time now and I mean, Zoom is Zoom. We all adapted now to having Zoom meetings or, you know, some form of online presentation or meeting. But I almost look forward to it now. We have so many of them a week where it's just educational. Like you have to learn your products. You have to learn your trade. You have to do all the stuff that a dealer should do but doesn't have time for so that you can be a step ahead and bring that value to that conversation. And so that's what we're doing. You know, we basically are constantly learning the newest products, learning what the trends are, learning what, you know, if you're in a dealership and you have a lot of rideshare vehicles, I need to make sure I have a warranty that'll fit for a rideshare. If you have a lot of mileage cars that are over 150 to 200,000, I need to make sure I have a service contract for that. You know, maybe you know, don't like, you know, certain products or you do like certain ones. We're going to focus in on what you like and tell you what the variations are. You know what I mean? Like, so we need to bring that value to the table. And like I said, every conversation is different. You know what I mean? I'm sure you guys understand that. Like what you guys need or what you guys want at your dealership might be completely different from somebody across the street from you. But I need to make sure that I'm prepared for either conversation.
Right. And that's, again, key that you know it from both vantage points, which is the solution serum to make sure that it yes. makes that welding come together between the relationship that has to happen between vendors and the actual dealership staff.
Right, you got to bring
and
value.
The owners.
You got to bring value, you know, and be different, no doubt. And you definitely do that. And what you've done is you've also built a reputation, right? So when you build something, when it's new, it's a little scary. You got to inch your way in. You got to almost, you know, people don't know who you are. But as you people get to know who you are, and as you go in and you prove yourself, it's something to marvel on, right? And you do it, and then you do it again. That builds your own confidence, which builds confidence with other dealers. The one thing that it does, it takes a little bit of time, but once you get to a certain where you get enough clients, it explodes, right? It just, and that's what's happening with the elite FI partners right now. And I know it, and it's just the beginning. It's literally just the freaking beginning of it.
You're right.
And it's going to explode really big because it's the right intentions. You're giving people service that's helping them, right? It's not like something that doesn't really matter. It's like a bad product you sell in F&I, right? It's something that doesn't, you know, no one gets any use measurable. So this is a measurable product. This is something that people can see the results, instant results. They can see. Right. They also have accountability, which is something big. We talk about accountability a lot.
Right.
You understand accountability. And that's something that, you know, a big reason why we're going to be seeing each other soon is we're talking about this accountability opportunity, right? So we're definitely looking forward to that. So and that's such a key part in what you guys do. Also, you talk about always keeping yourself and going to these things and training on the newest, hottest. Maybe even if it's not, you still want to learn about it because it might be something that you could use. Right? It's a piece of the puzzle that you could throw over here, and that's something that I know is important to you. It's important to anybody who's on that same type of frequency that's trying to get to that next level. And I'm looking forward to seeing you keep doing that. And you're right now with all these Zoom meetings, it's been amazing. Like I remember at the beginning of COVID, I was much like you and, hey, this is an opportunity to sit back and really think about stuff. So I started going to all these, watching these people's interviews and hearing like these conferences. I remember they had that big one where they did it for like 24 hours, and every hour, every 30 minutes, there was a new person talking. It was a big giant car conference. I was like, this is so cool. I learned so much. I didn't, I made sure I couldn't watch it all, of course, but I watched a majority of it because I just made sure I watched keynote speakers that I wanted to hear it from. I wanted to learn from, which is funny because a lot of those people I've ended up interviewing. So it's been really cool, So, and here soon, we're all going to have opportunities to do those things. With the way that you talk, your people are starting to know who you are because you're putting out the videos, which is something that not a lot of people who do what you do. Isn't that weird? Right. The way I said that sounds weird, but also that the fact that people don't really get excited about promoting themselves and branding themselves. And it's, it's scary, at first, you even knew it was weird. That's why you did it. Because you're like, man, why am I not doing this? I just need to do it. I just need to do it. You just needed a little, and you did it. It's, you could say, oh, it's us, but it's you. You're the one who had the power to do it. You're the one who said, hey, I'm taking that step and start doing that. And that's not the reason why your business is successful, but it's going to definitely help your business get successful even at a faster rate. It's going
to, that's really what we want to make sure we get out there to all of you solutionaries, that the kind of culture that we're brewing here is that it's just going to go into your cup. I mean, of course, the coffee that you drank today is not what made your car deals come together. We all know that, but daggone it, was it good? And did you enjoy it? And did it help you? And were you better because you had your coffee? Well, daggone it, heck yes, you were. And that's what the Car Guy Coffee culture is all about. It's just being able to pour something inside of a brother's cup and say, hey, you got this, go get them. You know what I mean? It's the get up and go that you want to have inside of your day, because ultimately it's more fun to have a positive percolating rather than problem percolating. Right? We want to make sure that we are finding a way to help other people. And since you're doing that, since we're enjoying things like helping other people, I want to ask a key thing here for some of the solutionaries that are out there that are trying to find out actually what's hot, what's not. This car business is key that we stay on the trends. And Michael's out there finding new ways to brew solutions. Michael, what are you seeing out there inside of the F&I department that's being a key sought after tool inside of their office? Because I ask that really because we're really making sure that we trumpet this subprime hero message, because everybody needs that hero. Everybody, I need a hero. I made my kids have to listen to that today like 3 times. But everybody needs that hero. They're making a drive for however many hours. They're giving up their personal information. They need a hero. And there's people that are with that same attitude of brewing solutions like you that are beating that drum of new products inside of their department. What are the things that people are looking for, if it's subprime hero stuff or not? What is it that people are actually seeking right now?
So twofold, when it comes to an actual product like a service contract, we have a couple companies out that we're heavily vested in because they take care of our dealers, right? And at the end of the day, what it really comes down to is that customer has a problem. You want to make sure that they have a good solution, right, to that problem. So if they bought a service contract, you want to make sure that they're going to answer the phone, they're going to pay the claim, they're going to take care of those issues. And so we have a couple real good go-to companies that have great administration that we love for that. Now, what the biggest thing that we're seeing right now, the trend that is kind of come from COVID is, technology, having that ability to not make it super complicated, but to have a remote delivery, have a remote signature, have a tool where things can be done on somebody's cell phone, where they don't even have to come to the dealership if they're not comfortable doing that. And so we are, one of the things that we've done is we've gone through and sampled all the different technology providers that are out there and found the best answers. And so we can go to a dealership now, and we have a store, for example, that we just signed up last month. The customer will literally be sitting in their dealership, and they'll use the remote tool to send it to their phone before they come into the finance office, because of how easy it is and how clean it is. And it puts videos on their phone, and it shows them the interaction. And so the customer now is walking into the office educated on the products before they even talk about it. And so, having that technology right now is key, because granted, not every customer is scared to come to a dealership, but some are. Some customers don't feel comfortable yet engaging in the environment that we live in every day. So if we have the tools and the power and the options that bring it to their door, and that's one of the things that we really kind of pride ourselves on, is bringing those tools, the appropriate things, to the dealership and making it easy. The moment you can do that, you can make it where it's simple for somebody at the dealership to figure out and use. Okay. And it bridges that gap for that customer that's uncomfortable right now with what's going on in the world to come into the dealership. That's hot right now. That's what's working for a lot of dealerships. And then, with that all being said, we take all the products that we offer, whether it be a service contract, a gap, a tire wheel, the different ancillary products, and we put it all into one system, and it's, generating contracts, and it's electronic signatures, and it's all very simple. It's push one button, generate all contracts, push one button, sign all contracts. Everything flows in and out of the dealer management system. And that's what we're getting very effective at. And it's been very good for us in the sense that we can bring that technology to a dealership.
Oh, wow, that's
powerful stuff.
That's
exactly what's needed in a lot of places. It's the next step, right? It's the next step of what old school car guys were doing. Old dealerships are trying to get away from now. They're trying to go to now, I should say. Getting away from what's old to what's new, and you're definitely streamlining that for them, and you're showing them the path. Because do you all the education that you've done, do all the Zoom meetings, do all the conferences that you've been to in the past, the dealerships that you've worked at, and worked a process that worked for you that you're obviously using into what you're doing now, plus all the training that you've had in between. I mean, folks, once again, 1997, 98. That's how long he's been in the business, and he looks like he's freaking 20. You know what I mean? And so most people, by the time they've been doing it that long, they don't. And that's how should show you how much he loves the business. He still looks young, and he's still fresh, and he's still doing this, and he's still being passionate about it. And that should just show you what this business is really, what it can really do for you, what kind of stuff that it could bring for you, what kind of joy that you could bring to it. But it's all a mentality. We talked to Sandy Cerami. He kept talking about the 6 inches in between your ears, right? How important that what's going on in those 6 inches are for you to be able to have the right type of life, to be able to be in that constant growth mode, or at least understanding that even with faults and failures, that there's still some amazing stuff ahead, right? And you've done that, and you do that for other people, and you're helping other people do that, and it's really nice, man. And what your company does to me is going to be something that I think that you don't. I think it's going to just keep getting bigger, because, like you said, you're innovating all the time. You're always looking for the next thing, right? And you're going to help your clients.
The biggest thing too, also, that's really kind of nice about being the agency now, not working with an agency that has a set process or a set product that they're offering, is, for me, like, I like the flexibility of going into a store, because like I have processes that I like to follow, but being able to write a process that works for that particular dealership. And then, like we talk about with accountability, going in there on a regular basis and enforcing it, making sure that these things and the steps are actually being met so that you can hit those results. And that's the fun part, like being able to walk in and go, hey, we're going to tweak it a little bit here. You guys do it just a little bit different. So we're going to do this, this, and this, instead of the cookie cutter approach that some of these larger companies take, where it's got to be the same thing every time. Maybe it needs to be a little different. Maybe our world's adapting. And the truth is, I mean, it is. Our world is changing. There's a lot of online stuff happening now, right? And it's away from the transactions happening on the website to displaying products to them on the website, and we have to change with it. And so dealerships are all kind of grasping that at different phases. Some dealerships are doing it, some aren't, some are half doing it. So for me in finance, I need to be able to adapt whatever that situation needs to be, and that's what makes us unique right now.
You're a tailor. You're a car guy tailor. Yes. You're a car dealership tailor. So you custom fit it to them. You make sure that it fits perfect. It's their perfect length. It fits their chest. Everything. It's going to button up just right, and they're going to be able to have the room that they need to grow in, right? And so you're absolutely doing some really cool stuff, and that's a good point to make there. And that's something that honestly is exactly what people need to do more of, right? Is not just cookie cutter it, right? You need to make sure you tailor it for the client, because not every client's going to need everything. Right. Sometimes they just need a little small tweak,
and you got to
sometimes they need just 2 or 3 things
for their own flavor, right? This is their cup of coffee. You put in however many sugars or creams you need. Okay, it's their business still, so their personality should still be on it one way or another. No 2 Ford stores should necessarily be the same if they have different owners. Now, if and they have different managers, they have different. Everybody's personality should find its way to be stamped on there. I come from hip hop culture where it mattered what you put on, even a graffiti tag on a wall. It mattered what that looked like and that you were part of something bigger. But everybody gets the chance to put their mark on the wall, on a stamp on the dealership. But the dealer, it's himself, herself, themselves, all of everybody that's involved in being the dealer gets the chance to put their personality to it. And it is so key that if you're going to understand that there's different levels of elite, everybody's at the elite level is elite, but they're all different. Michael Jordan and LeBron James are completely different people. Right. You know what I mean? That are both elite. And that's just the rank that they are. You know what I mean? That's just what level they play at. And it's so key that everybody gets to put their own flavor on it. Everybody gets to add their little bit to their own sauce, Yes. And that's the thing that so many people try to always do. It's, I want to either be like them, or I want to do it like this, or you have to do it like me. You have to be like me. I think the biggest problem that a lot of managers have is, in a lot of cases, is that they want everybody to emulate them rather than help everybody around them find themselves. You know what I mean? Right. Everybody can play their part if they play their part appropriately, but I can't play your part. I can't be Fred, and I can't be Michael, right. And my salespeople can't be me. I don't need them to be me. They need to be certified car guys, but they don't need to be the car guy. They don't need to be Lou, and everybody finding their own way of it, whether it's the salesperson and their personality and how you soldier them, or how you give products to a dealership that custom fit their process and their way that they serve their customer. It is key that everybody listens and everybody moves with the currents that come when you're trying to find a way to promote your product, but help a customer. You can do it your way and get with people like Michael that help you do it your way, and do it the best way that you want to help your community, because nobody's going to be the same, and it's okay. Everybody can still be elite.
It's like that saying, you don't have to worry about being better than anybody else. Just be the best version of yourself. That's so right. What he does is he helps your dealership become the best version of itself.
Exactly.
Right. And that's great. Woo. This is why we're friends, my friend.
You get me all inspired.
Inspirational stuff.
Things.
Folks, www.elitefipartners with an S at the end.com. Make sure you check them out. Make sure you reach out to them. I mean, I'm telling you, if you're even just thinking about it, what's a phone call? What's just talking to them? What's just seeing what they possibly could do? Do you, when it comes to consultations, do you guys do free ones, evaluations or whatnot?
Absolutely. Yeah. So anybody that wants to compare products or process or reinsurance, retros, different, all the different programs that are out there, we're happy to do it. We'd love to show you exactly what we can do and how we stack up. And, a lot of times, we'll go into a dealership and I'll tell them point blank, the products I show you might be more expensive. They might be less expensive. I don't come in and make a promise that I'm coming in to be cheaper or, something of that nature. We're coming in promising that we're going to give you service that you've never experienced before. Okay. We're going to come in and show you processes that you don't currently have that will change the culture in your dealership. Okay. That's the difference, right? The product is, that's the widget, right? The service contract's the widget, and we've done our homework, okay? And we found the companies that we want to do business with based on administration, based on how they pay claims, based on how they take care of a dealership, right? So that part of the equation should be a small part in my eyes. The rest of it is how we interact with you and how often we interact with you. Because for us to have a relationship with a dealership, I need to be in that dealership. I need to be visiting you on a regular basis. I need to be working with finance people. And that interaction for a new dealership or a used dealership or a power sports dealership, it's all different, right? A dealership like with, for example, a used car store may do products differently than a new car store. And we know that. And so our process that we want to put in place there may be very different. And so that's all the key.
Love it. Love it, man. If there's anything that I want to happen tonight, after listening and watching this entire just live that we've been able to do, it's make sure that a little bit of this is seared into your mindsets, everybody, that you understand.
They look like a ninja star just coming in there or sword like
we're with solution.
We're gonna.
Can you get with that?
Can you? That's right. We're elites.
Not playing games around here.
No, man, and
elite.
I think it's great. I think that what you're trying to do and what you are doing and what you will be doing is going to be amazing. And
it's fun. It's just fun. It's fun
and
seeing.
Was amazing.
But you can. You feel the fire in him as he's talking about it. I mean, it's like whatever it is that you're trying to bring to my store. Yes, bring it, please, because it's great. You know what I mean? The fire is already there. That it's that value of the conversation with somebody that's passionate about bringing a solution to the store is refreshing to any owner that is always trying to find a way to truly better their business. And it's great to have a solutionary like you in our lives, brother. No, seriously.
No doubt.
You talk about passionate people. One of the things that we want to focus on right now too is up and comers, right? So we started last month, right? And we're doing a write-up every month now. And what we're looking for is salespeople in the industry that are passionate about what they do, right? Mm-hmm. We want to find the people that are out there doing it maybe just a little bit differently or have a slightly different approach. And we want to write it up. We want to show people something like that, right? We want to, birds of a feather flock together. We want people that are passionate in this business and we want to show it off, right? And so we need help. We need people submitting or recommending or telling us, because, I got a lot of friends on Facebook and LinkedIn, but I may not see what somebody's doing. I may not be their friend. So I want to know about it. Like, because that to me, if somebody's passionate and they're in sales and they're kicking ass, sorry, I'm swearing, but like, if they're out there doing a great job, that's the next person that's going to be moving up to that next level. Maybe they're going to be in finance. Maybe they're going to be a manager of some sort. I want to see it. I want to be a part of that person's journey, because at some point I might reach out to them and say, hey, I have an opportunity for you that takes you to that next level. Right. And so we're anxious to find those people now. That's another thing we're in search of right now.
I love that. Yeah. You've been doing monthly spotlights. Right now it's Charles Higgins. Great Charles Higgins. I love that guy. Charles Higgins drove up here and saw Lou and I. It was what a great experience.
Awesome.
We got to sit down and talk with him. We sat down in my office at work and we had a good chat and we talked about the business. We talked about just, everything. And then he went up the street, hung out with Lou for a little while. They talked for a little bit.
Charles is here.
Charles Higgins, awesome. Man. Congratulations to you, Charles Higgins, for making the spotlight. Well deserved. Yes. You are definitely an up and coming. He's been doing it for a while, but he's definitely recharged himself. And he gives a lot of credit to me too. And I'm like, wow, dude, love you for it. You don't have to appreciate it. So, and then, to be able to spotlight him means a lot. So I'm glad that he's getting his spotlight. And I can't wait to see what the next one is. Actually, I could think of a few people that we can, at least those some nominations actually. So you might have a list for a while. There's some people out there that I've been following and watching, and actually, a couple of people that I know real close that are doing some amazing stuff with social media and other things like that. So,
and you're not just speaking it. You're not just saying that you're about it. He literally squared away Country T at our store for putting some great news out there. He loves his Elite FI pullover. He put a pullover where his promise was that he was going to hook him up. It has a little #3 on it. We were looked at that. We were like, yeah, that's for the hat trick, son. But Country T got outside of the box as he's done before. You know what I mean? He's part of one of our most viewed dance videos for doing an actual line dance. It's incredible. He's like, man, every time that song comes on, I get so nervous. I get these butterflies in my stomach. He gets all, because he's not the dancer, but he jumped out there, did it, got pumped up, but he made the video, put great news out there. You sent him the pullover and he absolutely loves it. But folks, He really is rewarding some great people. We want to get some Car Guy coffee out there to some great car guys and car gals that are doing great things. Yep. So sales managers, reach out to us. Let us know if you got a car guy inside of your state that would qualify to be Car Guy coffee approved and get a free bag of Car Guy coffee.
Yeah,
we want to hear about those great solutionaries that are out there. More of that information will come later on, but we just like our brother.
Why not? Let's just do this,
Michael.
From this point on, Charles, did we give Charles some coffee? Did we have some for him?
Yes,
Charles already has some of our coffee. I tell you what, for every month that you put a highlight, we're going to throw them a bag of coffee.
Awesome.
All right, so that's included in every package. Every time you do one, they get one of those sent to them in the mail. I think that's pretty cool. So let's make that happen.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I want to put a spotlight on people that do certain things. Like this is what Country T that like he did a hat trick, right? So he had 3 cars out that day. I think that's awesome. Like, why not give somebody like, that's exciting for them. It's exciting for whoever's going through it. I want to be able to like send them a shirt or a sweater or something, when, #3 or put something on there that kind of makes them feel proud that some elite.
He did the video, right? He got in the video and he gave his testimony. He shared great news you want to, even in raising children, you want to reward the behaviors that you want to see, you want to have happen, right? Reward the good behaviors, you'll have less of the negative. And if you do it right and you do it with honor, it's always something that people continue to pursue.
I think that's a great tip for people to understand. That's what you do, and when you because a lot of times, there's a lot of managers out there that like to keep all the glory to themselves. They don't want to share it with those guys. They don't want to. They think it's because the way they wrote the pencil, the salesperson closed it. You know what I mean? That type of sales manager. And it's so untrue. Your salespeople work really hard to get the customer in, to even just give the credit information and then get them to test drive and then actually commit to a trial close and say, yeah, I'll buy it if the price is right, and then actually shut them. That's a lot of little moving parts involved in that. There's, so they need to reward them. They need to high five them, even if you got to go in and close them for the salesperson, still need to show them love. Yeah, speaking of that, I'm going to jump to the next section right now. It's the jump box. And, we're talking about ideas and how to make things better. The jump box is something that is really important. It's something that you need. Sometimes when the battery's drained, it's not quite working right, Lou. Explain the jump box a little bit, my friend.
Well, every now and then, car guys and car gals, the situation. A vehicle tries to get itself moving in a direction, and it can't. Why? Simply because the battery was no longer used, or a battery inside of that vehicle, what sparks the heart of the entire car is not, it's just you got a dead cell or something's not going on. So every now and then you need to connect a jump box to it. So that means you have to address the negative. And then you need to go ahead and click the little red thing over and unveil the positive. So you address the negative, you unveil the positive that could be added, you go ahead and crank up the juice on that sucker, put in the keys, which would be processes, people, and products, right? And go ahead and crank that sucker, and boom, bam, you got yourself a jump start to the engine inside of the vehicle that's going to take you wherever it is that you want to go. And right now, Michael Offmuth is with us on the Car Guy Coffee podcast, delivering the jump box for you all inside of your F&I departments. Michael, welcome back again. We really didn't go nowhere. We've been hanging out. This is so easy to just.
It just comes right off the tongue, normal. It'll be used for our video later, right?
Yeah. Hey,
welcome back, Michael.
Welcome back, Mike.
The jump box.
We're back.
Hashtag jump box, folks. The jump box is important, just like Lou said. It is very important to make sure that you
do all those things.
Do all those amazing things. Obviously with the negative, you got to always talk about that negative. You got to understand that negative, but just set it to the side, connect to it, right? But the most important thing is
get a grip on
revealing that positive part of it, implementing that, because that's what gives it that charge, right? Mm-hmm. That being said, there's always a tip out there. I'm sure there's something that you can give people out there that can help maybe change their clothes, whatever it is about the business. Doesn't matter if it's a clothes, if it's something that's for life or whatever it is, but a good tip for them out there right now for the folks.
Perfect. I'll give you an example of like walking into a new dealership. Like, so you go in and you'll have multiple finance guys sometimes, like where they sit next to each other in the office. And so I'll walk in sometimes and I'll visit with a finance manager and, ask him how it's going, ask him what he's running into, and, talking about, energy and perception of like what you see when you walk in these dealerships. So this person might be, I'll give you an example, like a store I've walked into where he's having an awful run at it. His numbers are low. He can't close products. The customers aren't buying anything. He's had a lot of cash deals, and it's all negative, negative, negative. And so then I walk over to the office right next to him, and the manager that's sitting in that office is having the exact opposite. Life is great. He just hit another one. The customer bought 5 products. Everything's going really well. Everything's, flowing into place. And, he can't wait to get the next customer in, and his, product penetration, his gross profit, everything's where it needs to be. And so you literally have the same dealership. In office one is the manager that's having everything go negative and bad. Office 2 is the manager that's having everything positive and good. And so you ask yourself, if you see a customer coming in and they're getting ready to go to the finance manager, which one would you send them to, right? So if I'm sitting there, I right away send them to the positive, and then I go visit with the negative. And so with me, with the negative manager, it's like you guys said, it's the 6 inches up in here, right? It's in our own head. We get in our own way. And a lot of times we are the problem, right? And then we have to admit that we are the problem. We have to understand that if you go into a delivery or into a process with a customer and you right away are already feeling defeat, you're already feeling negative or, bad vibes about it. Customer may be paying cash, they may be doing finance. It doesn't matter what that situation is. You have to go into it with that same positive energy and enthusiasm every single time. You could have a customer that just came in and bought absolutely nothing from you. The very next time you go in right away and you're excited and you bring that energy every single time. And if you don't, you watch the trend. It just starts to fall. And so you have to fix it. You have to address that. You have to realize when it's happening. And there's psychology to this, right? We all get in our own way. We all get in our own head. But at the end of the day, we have to figure out how to get out of our head and get positive. Even if it's act as if, even if you're having everything, at home is going wrong this day, you got to turn it off and you got to focus on what's in front of you. You have to focus on the problem. You have to focus on, I have a customer and I need to give them the same energy and enthusiasm that I give every single customer. And I'm not going to go into it defeated. I'm not going to go into it broken. And, it's very obvious. Like I said, I'll walk into stores, I'll have 2 managers side by side and 2 very different results. And it really just comes down to that state of mind and where that person is. And again, you get right back into working a process and working what it is that they need to do. And that will fix the problem. You get them excited about it. And a lot of guys hate role playing. I love it, right? I love getting in there. And I always am the guy that, there's a transition that happens with a lot of my finance guys where, I'll start with, in the very beginning when I start working with a dealership, they are, oh God, role play. And they're just discouraged and they hate it. And then like a month or 2 later, they get excited by it because they realize I go in there and I'm throwing curveballs at you. I'm throwing objections at you and I'm trying to stump you. And every time I stump you, then it's a lesson. It's something that we can learn from, right? And that's the key. Like if you have an open mind to learning and understanding your trade and your products and your process, you will become successful. You will become excited about coming to work. I have finance people that'll call me and go, we just went through this and a customer came in here and said that exact same thing. They said they had gap through their insurance company and I did exactly what you told me and it worked. And it's fun for me when I hear that excitement starts to come out on them. That's what I've talked about a little bit. And that is that passion that you start to feel and they start to get it as well. But that's it. You'll have a negative, you'll have a positive, you hone in on the negative and you work on that until you can turn it into something they're excited about.
And that right there is CGC approved right there, my friends. That's a great tip. And that's so right on the money. You know what you are? You're the desk guy of finance managers, right? You're their desk guy. You're that guy who builds that confidence and loads their lips, trains them up, and you recognize what kind of client and you kind of teach them. I love how that's kind of a good way of putting it, folks, but great tip. And what I can tell you is that if you do not take that tip, you're going to bust your lip. Okay.
You're going to sink your ship.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to sink your ship because loose lips, busted lips, sink ships, right? So, got a leg cramp.
Oh, snap.
Oh, Charlie Horse.
Oh, Charlie.
Okay,
Charlie's in the house. Car guys, car gals. Even sometimes when you don't know what to do and you have to force yourself in a bad situation, stretch, you're just finding yourself being. Every now and then, people try to cramp your style.
Hey,
try to get you in the leg.
Hydrate.
drink the car guy coffee, which does not hydrate you. But hey, it hydrates you in different ways, right? See, he's the Human Torch. Woo. So yeah, we
But it's so important, though, if you're trying to grow the right beans,
there, folks.
You got to pour good water on it. So make sure that you stay hydrated. Folks, sometimes when you are getting ready to run into a car deal, I mean, I do highly encourage you, track your water for the day. Track what it is that you are actually getting. We gave some planners to the guys to make sure that they do pay attention to some of the water that they're getting. You know, when you're running into a situation and you're trying to actually gain focus, chug that bottle of water down real quick. You know, give that hydration shot to your body. You'll see yourself actually get pumped up, get motivated, moving in the right direction. It helps a little bit. You know, it seems like the problem for everything in a lot of cases is drink more water. So
I used to crush a Red Bull.
Drink some water. Used to, man. I had to put the Red Bulls up. I started drinking coffee.
Right.
exactly.
Get you some.
Car Guy
Man,
Energy. Car Guy Energy drink?
Car Guy Energy drinks may be coming. They may be coming.
I don't know.
They don't know. but right now, we're brewing solutions, and some things take good seeds, good growth, good time, and they take good relationships for people to cultivate what it takes to brew solutions in dealerships that they go to. And again, everybody's coffee is at heart different in their own cup, and we encourage everybody to brew it their way and find a solution everywhere that you go, because there's no excuse not to. And if sometimes you don't find the solution in the room, maybe it's you.
That's right.
Maybe you're the solution.
If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
That's true.
Right? Folks, we're going to move on to the next section right now. It's the Car Guy Confession session, right? So, final segment of the night. I'm kind of getting sad. We've been rocking and rolling for a little over an hour and a half. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for sitting in here, relaxing. I can't believe I got a leg cramp in the middle of that. Apologize, but I am here and I'm ready to go. So Car Guy Confession Session is a story that I want to hear from you. I want to hear anything that you've seen, done, witnessed, whatever it is, heard about. Most likely, I'd prefer it if you saw it, because it's always better when you've seen it, right? But something that may have happened, a mishap, maybe something that you learned from, something that you just laughed from, whatever it is, give us a Car Guy Confession.
I'll give you something I laugh at now. So this is when I was 16 years old. I got my first car. My father had got me something to drive. I was real excited. I had a Jeep Cherokee, I think it was. And, anyway, my father had people like managers that would come over to the house and they'd drink and talk about business till late at night. Well, I'm like 2 months into my driver's license. And he has a manager over and they get sloshed, right? And so my father asked me, hey, I need you to drive him home. And I'm like, all right, yeah, no problem. So he hops in the car with me and I'm like, just completely annoyed. I just can't stand this guy. He's laughing in the side. And I'm like, dude, like, just tell me where you live. I want to take you home, right? Like, I just want to get this over with. And it turns into an hour and a half just trying to find his house because he's so drunk that he can't remember where he lives. Well, we finally get to his neighborhood and he starts throwing up. And he throws up all over my car, right? I mean, like the whole passenger side, like getting it on my pant leg. I'm just like, completely disgusted. Can't wait to get this guy out of my car. I'm at the point where I'm almost going to throw him on the side of the road. I'm like, just tell me where you live already. And like, this is how I meet this guy. Right. And anyway, fast forward, when I start working at the dealership, he had left and then he comes back. He and I work together and he becomes one of my best friends. And to this day, I still talk to him and we communicate. And, it's funny though. I can think back to when I met this guy and like my first interaction with him was him literally throwing up all over my stuff, and I'm thinking he's a fool. Car business for you, right? Like you just never know like where it's going to take you. Every day is completely different. The people you meet, one day you hate them, the next day you love them, right? And some of the most talented people I've met in the car business come with the most drama and baggage, right? And it's just the nature of the business,
That's a good story, man. Yeah. Wow. So that's a real Car Guy confession.
That's
right there. You know what I mean? Like when I think of car guys, that's exactly something that would have went down. Somebody overdrank, somebody puked all over someone's car, and that wasn't even a demo at that time. That was your car, wasn't it?
Yeah. My car. Yeah.
No, dude. Puke is the worst. And you can clean it all you want. It still smells like puke for like a week.
Oh
gosh, man. So I've been there, done that. So, that's a great confession session. Michael Offmuth, Mr. Puke in his car, on his leg, and you still my homie.
Yeah, even the elite get thrown up on,
Even the elite get thrown up on, right? That's a good story. And to be later to partner back up with him, work with him, have a great relationship with him, become best friends like that, and to still share stories, to still talk, and to be able to honor him on the show tonight. And that's a shout out to him right there, yo. You know what I'm saying? He'll know if he sees this, he'll laugh his ass off. He'll be like, "Oh, yeah, I remember that."
Yeah.
Or maybe I don't. Maybe he doesn't remember that. You know what I mean? Right. He sort of recollects
what
it.
Are you talking
I remember puking, but I don't remember that bad. It was probably just like a little bit, right? So, folks, I hope you guys enjoyed our show tonight. We had a great guest tonight with Michael Offmuth with Elite FI Partners, www.elitefipartners.com. Also, make sure that you understand that they are our partners. They are our sponsors. I'm so excited that they're here. They're our other sponsor, Think Ag Group, www.thinkaggroup.com. Thanks for sponsoring us. We appreciate everybody who came out and listened and watched and commented and everything above. I appreciate you, Michael, for spending the night with us tonight and ending your weekend.
Sleepover? We had a sleepover.
We had a sleepover.
We were in yesterday, and now we're in today. And we just did that together. And we're totally cool.
So everybody, thanks for joining us. I appreciate you, Michael. We'll be talking really soon. We actually need to connect in the next day or two about some other stuff. So
a lot of big things going on.
We need to get all that lined up.
Got solutions for you.
And we will be talking. Folks, we're going to end this with how we always end it with our intro is our outro.
And it's the middle tro. Thank you so much.
Focus. Fly. Keep growing. Folks, I love it. Folks, we appreciate you. You all have a great night. Thank you. Once again, Michael, you're the man, dude.
Thank you, guys,
for coming on.